Hi, David.
Hi, Karat.
Tell me, rather tell us, tell our viewers, is risk management important for small, medium enterprises, SMEs, better known as?
There's a simple answer, yes. I guess you want to know why it's important to
That's
SMEs.
right, that was my next question.
I thought it might be, yes. There's a simple answer that all enterprises are exposed to risk, whether they're large, medium or small, so it doesn't really matter on the size. But the real problem is that SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, tend to be very constrained in their resources. Maybe there's 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 people. They don't have a lot of time for things which don't immediately add value. They're very focused on what we're doing right now and immediately next. They don't often have a very consistent long-term view. The owner may do. The initial entrepreneur may know exactly where they want to go but not be quite sure how to get there. But in the operations of an SME, they do tend to have a short-term focus and just get on with what they're doing. So you come along with something that says, I can give you a forward-looking radar with with a range of 6 months or of 12 months. They say, I'm not worried about that, I'm worried about next week. And how am I going to get this particular delivery out of the door? And I've only got 4 people on my team and one of them is sick and the other one is not very happy. So these are my problems. I have problems which need tackling now, and I don't have time to think about other things further in the future. So there is a kind of selling job to do here, a persuasion job for SMEs to understand how are they ever going to reduce the number of problems that they have to face today. The only way is to start thinking about them in advance, to actually think not just about today's and next week's problems, but to think now about next month's problems, so that by the time we get to next month, we don't have so many problems to deal with. The only way to reduce problems and issues is to look for risk in advance and manage it effectively. The other thing which is important, particularly attractive for SMEs, is to focus on the upside of risk, to focus on opportunities. We're actually helping you to find uncertain things that if they occurred, would help you to work faster and smarter and cheaper and to be more competitive and to be more responsive to the environment and to your clients. And so if we identify and include opportunities within our risk process in an SME, it can help you to in fact move even faster and to be even more responsive and even more efficient with your limited resources. But in order to do that, we have to have good, sharply focused risk processes. It's no good going to an SME with a risk procedure manual which is an inch thick that says you have to have all of these forms filled out and a big risk database with lots of fields. You have to have a 3-hour meeting every 2 weeks. They're just not going to be interested. We have to have a much more rapid, flexible approach to risk management. And here we can go back to something we talked about in an earlier video and we've referred to several times in this video series, which is basing our risk process on answering 7 simple questions, which every SME owner, every SME board is going to be asking all the time. What am I trying to do? What could affect me? Which are the big ones? What can we do about it? Did it work? Who needs telling? And what's changed? If we ask those questions in the context of an SME, we can answer them very quickly because people are used to thinking and acting fast. And that is the risk management process: objective setting, risk identification, prioritization, response planning, implementation, reporting and review. So it's just simply framing the risk process in a context which makes it simple for people to understand and simple to implement. So SMEs face risks which need to be managed. They need to understand that risk management adds value. It's not a cost, it's an investment. It makes their life easier, it makes them more effective and efficient, it makes them more competitive. And it's not just for the big boys, just for the major players. It can help them to achieve their goals, whatever the size of their enterprise.
I agree, and I personally think this is my favorite part in the domain of risk portfolios, risk management portfolios, the SMEs as they call it, the small and medium enterprises. I think the key word here is looking at future risks, what's to come. And as you said, rapid, I would say, I would use the term, just practically have a practical approach to risk management.
Exactly.
Don't just keep it, shelve it, keep it, make a big document and shelf it. And, you know, I think the other objective they could achieve, apart from the ones that you mentioned, is also it will help them stay afloat much longer than they would have anticipated themselves as the entrepreneur themselves.
Exactly.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, David.
It's a pleasure.